Hello, I'm David Martone, Executive Chef at Classic Thyme Cooking School here in Westfield, New Jersey. And today we have a great show for you, egg cookery. Doing all different things that have eggs in them, mainly because I've just got some fresh eggs. And my brother-in-law actually raises chickens in Vermont. Got some fresh eggs this weekend, so just wonderful when you have fresh eggs and you want to do lots of good things with eggs. There's nothing like a fresh egg. My brother actually moved from California to Vermont, so now I have a lot of family in Vermont. It's great. I get to see them a lot because it's really just a 4-hour drive from here to see family members. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to make a, when I said egg cookery, you might not think of certain things I'm making. But I'm going to make a liquid center, or what you might have heard called molten lava center chocolate cake. So, you know, you wouldn't normally associate that with eggs, but it does have eggs in it. And what we're going to do is we're going to melt some butter down in my pan. We're using a very heavy bottom pan to do this, because what we're doing in melting the butter is creating a little bit of liquid so we can cook some chocolate in it. Just grab a spoon. As this butter melts down, I'm going to add my chocolate. And then the chocolate will start to melt in the butter rather than to scorch and seize. Now you can still seize this, seize meaning the chocolate kind of hardens up and gets grainy like fudge. But the little bit of butter in there and doing it on a fairly low temperature will allow this to melt down nicely. This recipe is actually one of our instructor's recipes, and he was gracious enough to let us use it. And I use it all the time because I don't make a whole lot of desserts because I'm not a real dessert eater. So things that I don't normally eat, I don't cook as much or spend as much time with. But my instructor, actually, he's a local guy here from Scotch Plains, I believe, Stephen Capodicasa. This is just a fabulous recipe, and again, I'd like to thank him for letting me use this. So our chocolate's melting down nicely with the butter. And then we're going to add some sugar to this, and just a tiny bit of salt, and a little bit of vanilla extract. This is such a great recipe. And what do you see how easy it is? Now, in the background, I've had Leah, who's helping me today, butter up some ramekins. We call these little vessels ramekins. So she's buttered them up nicely for us, and those cakes will just slide right out when we're done. Now we're going to stir in some flour to this, little at a time, because the flour starts to bind up and wants to thicken this up. And then we're going to stir in some eggs. That's where our eggs come in. Now the eggs that we're using are brown eggs, which just come from a particular variety of chicken. And the chickens my brother-in-law is raising, they're actually a heritage breed, and a breed that is, I don't want to say in danger of extinction, but not being used by our commercial breeders. And it's one of the original breeds that are known here in America. So he's doing his part to help preserve the breed. I'm going to show you some pictures of them in a little bit. And they're just incredible, huge, huge chickens. The roosters stand almost, the top of their head comes almost to my waist. Not that I'm a really tall guy, but chickens you think of as, you know, these cute little small animals. These things are huge. They're like turkeys. First time I used some of the eggs, I couldn't believe how strong the shells were. So I actually commented to my brother-in-law Mark, and he told me that the feed that he's giving them, they're giving them some calcium, which is actually comes in the way of ground up oyster shells. And it makes the eggs incredibly resistant to the shells cracking. So, you know, normal eggs, you're cracking. These you really have to give them a whack to get them to crack. So we're stirring the eggs in one at a time. This is going to loosen this mixture back up nicely. Get another one. If I take this egg and a regular egg that we buy in the supermarket and smash them together, every time, and I've done this, every time the supermarket egg just shatters in pieces. Stir in another one. And we have one more. Had to send up quite a few recipes with eggs because they're really not, my brother-in-law's not selling the eggs. He's just using them for personal consumption, giving them away to friends and family. So I send them all these different kinds of recipes. Okay, this is looking good. Let's get rid of some of our garbage. I think we're only going to fill maybe 3 of these. Turn this around. We have chunks of chocolate that we're actually going to insert in the center to make these really gooey and nice. You want to cut into these cakes and have that chocolate just gush out, if you like that sort of thing. Some people are probably just drooling at this point, saying, oh my God, I can't wait to taste one of those. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to fill a few of these ramekins. See how I can do this without being too messy. There's one. And then we're going to insert those nice chunks of chocolate in. Two. I think maybe we'll get like 4 of them. Just scrape out the last little bit so this one's kind of even with the others. Okay. Now we'll put those nice chunks of chocolate in. Now I'm going to put 2 of them in. Hopefully these cakes won't overflow too much. I normally take the 1-ounce blocks of chocolate and just put a half. So I'm doing 2 of them as doubles and 2 of them as regulars, and we'll see how they turn out.